Are you ready? Let's get started. So go ahead and lay down on the mat. So once you set yourself up in constructive rest pose with your knees bent and your feet on the floor, have your yoga strap close by. Take your fingertips to your low belly with your elbows out, neck is neutral. Notice the bottom of your feet, your low back, just releasing towards your yoga mat. And here in constructive rest pose, we begin our journey into the mixed level practice to maintain and build bone density. So let's begin with a gentle sway, a warm up for the low back. So let's keep the knees and the feet hip distance apart this morning as we drop the knees towards the left. Relax your shoulders down. And draw your belly in and bring your knees back up. And then take both of your knees towards the right. And drop your shoulders down. So we'll move in this way, but this is when we get to coordinate breath with movement, again, which helps us stay present in these longer holds. So exhale, come up. Inhale to the side. You can turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees if you like, or just stay face up. Exhale, nice and slow, back to center. And again, inhale towards the right, head rolls to the left if you like. And then exhale in. And let's finish it off one more on each side. Drop to the left with the knees. Exhale, bring your belly in. Come back up to center. And take both of your knees towards the right. And exhale back in. So let's bring the right knee up to the chest and hug it in. And take the right palm on the kneecap and move your knee away. We'll just do a couple easy circles and let the hand do the work of the circle. So bring your knee in and then out to the side and away, back up and in. So we need a little core support here to keep the pelvis neutral and adhere to the mat. So let's try that again. Exhale towards your chest and out to the side. Inhale up. And exhale in. So notice what's happening with your left foot. Keep it firmly planted. And let's do one more. Circle out to the side and away and back up and in. Bring your right knee to your chest and let's reach up with the right heel and flex the foot. Oh, my hamstrings are really feeling some tension this morning. So let's do a little pointed flex. Good for the ankle. And also pulls on the fascia along the back of your leg. And then next time your foot is flexed, bend your knee towards your chest and find your strap for the bottom of your right foot. Make a loop around your hands. Walk your right thigh away from you. Relax your shoulders down, bend your elbows a little, press up into the strap. Keep a bend to that right knee. And then glide your left leg long, flex your left foot, lift your left knee, relax your shoulders, press up and press out. So both legs have a little bend to the knee. And this is where we start to hold these poses a little bit longer. And so we can connect to the breath, which will help us stay present in a really, really simple way. So it's sometimes called the dimmer switch breath. So when we inhale, we'll press the right foot up into the strap a little bit more. And we'll pause at the top of that. And when you're ready, exhale, release the pressure, but keep your leg extended, nice and slow. And again, there's a little pause at the end of the exhale breath. So let's do that a couple more times. Press evenly through the ball of the foot. And when you find that you're at the top of your breath, pause right there. And then exhale, recede, release that effort, come back. But the leg doesn't really move that much. It's just the pressure of pushing your foot into the strap. So we'll do one more. Inhale, press. And when you fill yourself with breath, pause at the top of that. And then exhale, slow release. Come back down. Take both straps into your right hand. And today, I'd like us to do this variation. If you like the straight leg variation, go ahead. But if you like, open your left knee, and you can take a block behind your left knee if you like, and begin to take your right leg towards the right. Now go slow, and again, use a little core support here. Press your belly down. Slide your hand down the strap. You can rest your elbow or just keep your arm extended. I just happen to come close enough to my wall so my foot can rest there, but I'm going to pull away so I can feel the inner thigh, that adductor muscles get that little pull, that little stretch, and pause. Now again, engage your core, drop it down, extend your left arm, look out past your left fingertips. And stay with it. Again, so as you begin to explore this pose from the center, from your core, legs reaching out, sacrum nice and heavy, shoulders broad. And again, one more deep breath. Help your right leg up by pulling on the strap. Help your left knee up with your hand, or just bring it on up. Slip your right foot out of the strap. Bring your right foot to the floor, and then glide it nice and long and lazy. And pause here for just a couple breaths, and perhaps notice the energy flowing on the right side of your body. So the ease, as important as the effort as we move through these poses. So let's bend the right knee and bring the right foot to the floor, and bring the left knee in and palm it. Take your right hand to your right hip bone and let your right foot be your anchor. As you open the knee to the side and then away, again, notice how the low belly has to work a little to create that stability, and then bring the knee up and back into the chest. Let's do that 2 times. So inhale away, exhale up and in. One more, just like that. Out to the side. Exhale up and in. Towards the chest. And then away. And reach up with your left heel. And point and flex your foot. And then when you're ready from doing that, bend your knee and find the strap for the bottom of your left foot. Make the loops around your hand, just makes it easier to hold on when we do that resistance movement. Walk your left thigh a little away from your back waistline, wiggle your shoulders down, press up into the strap, and you can have as much bend to the knee as you like. And then glide your right leg, slide it along, flex your right foot. Lift your right knee, relax your shoulders. So you can stay just right here with your breath. Or you can continue just to enjoy that dimmer switch. So if you think about the dimmer switch, you're turning it up and getting the room brighter by pressing your foot a little bit more into the strap. And then pause at the top. And when you exhale, begin to slowly reduce that effort. You're taking the dimmer switch down, turning down the light, the brightness. So let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, press up. Still keeping a bend to the knee. Relax your shoulders. And exhale, soften. And perhaps you're like me and enjoying that hamstring stretch in the back of your left thigh. So let's go again. Inhale, press. Still a bend to the knee. Keep breathing around it. And then soften, nice and slow. All right, look at your toes pointing straight back. Your heel aligned with your hip. And then take both straps into your left hand. Bend your right knee and open the right knee to the side. You can use a block behind your right knee if you like that. And begin to take your left leg. So nice and slow, control the movement. Take your left leg out to the side. Wiggle your shoulders apart. Bend your left knee a little. Make some minor adjustments. And then you can take your right arm out if you like and turn your gaze to the right. Make sure your knee has a little bend to it. This is quite a deep pull for the inner thigh muscles. And a little core support here to press the belly down to maintain that neutral spine. Again, another sweet deep breath into your body. And when you're ready, pull your left leg up and help your right knee up and bring your right foot to the floor. Slip the strap off your left foot, bend your left knee, bring your left foot to the mat, and then glide it nice and long and lazy. And pause for a couple breaths. Let's move the strap to the side. And bend your left knee, bring your left foot to the floor. Back to constructive rest pose. So let's bring both knees towards the chest. You can do one at a time or just bring both knees up and palm them. Exhale, knees in, and inhale away. Let's do that a couple times. Exhale in, and inhale away. Arms nice and long. And last one, exhale in, and inhale away. So with your arms lengthened, you're pretty close to neutral spine perhaps. So bring your right foot to the floor and reach up with your left heel again. But this time let's do a couple circles around that big full super moon that we just experienced yesterday. Flex your foot, rotate your left thigh, bend your left knee, bring your ankle bone across. Eye of the needle pose. Align your right heel with your right hip. Press out through the ball of the left foot and take your left fingertips to your inner thigh of your left leg to just gently open it, maybe like a ½ inch, ¼ of an inch away. Square up your hips, wiggle your shoulder blades apart. And again, notice the bottom of your right foot. All four corners, press gently into your mat. And then decide if you're going to stay here. Just explore this. You could do a little sway if you like, or just stillness. And you can also lift your right foot for the block, or bring your right knee up over your hip. Open your right knee so it's right aligned with your shoulder and descend that left hip ever so slightly. Keep that dorsiflexion for your ankle. Oh goodness, I guess it's been the gardening I've been doing, but I'm feeling that in my hips and my hamstrings this morning. Stay with your breath. Release the tension around your jaw, around your shoulders, and just peek in at your right knee that it didn't wander in. So again, keep that aligned with your shoulder. Pressing out through the ball of the left foot. Stay with it for another breath or two. This is getting us into that piriformis muscle, deep six area, where the sciatic nerve runs very close. And this is a lovely opportunity to explore that part of the body. And when you're ready, release your right foot. If it's lifted, switch the block up if it's been on the block, and reach up with your left heel. Bring your hands to your belly and begin to lower your left leg. And when your pelvis starts to tip, pause. So press your belly down, look down your body at your toes, keep them pointing straight back. Stability, press your belly down. And again, remember, if you're starting to notice that your pelvis is being pulled forward, pause. Press your belly down. There you are. Bend your left knee and bring your left foot to the floor. Switch the knees a little to the right and left. And we'll do the other side. All right, let's reach up with the right heel. So it's no surprise to us that many of these movements have to do with the hips and the pelvis. And that's where many people are susceptible to fractures and things. So we want to, of course, keep the hips and the pelvis strong. But also we'll get into the upper back, the thoracic spine, and I'll talk to you about that when I get there. So rotate your right thigh. Bend your right knee and bring your ankle bone across. Flex that foot. Align your left heel with your hip. Wiggle your shoulders and your hips down. Open your right thigh just a smidge. Stay with it. So this is also known as reverse pigeon pose. So if you're familiar with pigeon, you'll know it's pretty intense for the hips. But we'd be laying on our belly with this knee in front of our chest and the opposite leg extended. And it's lovely. It's a beautiful pose to explore. But we can also get into it from this doorway. So once we're here, decide if you're going to keep your left foot on the floor just like this, or you're going to take your block for the foot, or go ahead and lift your knee right over your left hip. And open your left knee, align it with your shoulder, descend your right hip down a little. Be kind to yourself. Find that just right place for you. And it changes every time we come to the mat. We have a little surprise for us. Stay with it, stay with your breath. And you might also notice once you explore both sides of the body that they're not always the same. That perhaps one side has a little more tension or a little more ease than the other. And that's pretty normal. But now that we've arrived, make sure your left knee didn't wander in. Keep it aligned with your shoulder, with your hip, and stay for about 2 more breaths. Oh, I know why I'm holding this energy. I was in a car, went to Seattle yesterday, and with traffic, it was over 2 hours each way. So that was a lot of sitting in the car. All right, let's take the left foot down. Reach up with the right heel. Flex your foot again. Now take your hands to your low belly just to help you sense that the pelvis is now stable. So look at your toes. Keep them pointing straight back, not rotating. And then so begin. Exhale, nice and slow. Look down your body at your foot. Keep it aligned with your hip. Press your belly down. The floor is there somewhere. And again, keep stability. Anytime you need to, bend your knee. You got it. Here we are. Beautiful. Now bend your right knee and bring your right foot to the floor. Take a pause. Deep breath. So I'd like to add the bridge pose today at the beginning. Sometimes we do it at the end, but today I'd like to start it here to get some opening through these hips. We've had some pretty deep flexion. So if you have a block, take it between the thighs. Plant your feet. And turn the back of your hands to the floor with your palms up. Again, neck is neutral, so you don't have a big pillow under your head. Notice your feet. Lift your hips, resettle. And we'll use our hands as sort of like this example of how we're going to scoop the hips up off the floor. So exhale, draw your belly down. And then as you inhale, scoop your hips, scoop your hands, come up. Rotate your palms to face one another, and your hands can be in kind of like in a V. And take your thumbs back just a little ways or further, but keep your arms straight. Draw your tailbone towards your calves. Hold on to the block. Now begin to use your glutes, your bum. So kind of engage those muscles. Neck is neutral. Draw your knees forward. Draw your tailbone towards your calves. Press through your feet. And again, it's your glutes. So think about your sits bones coming in and up. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Keep pressing through the four corners of your feet. Beautiful. When you're ready, exhale up with your hands, still in bridge. Exhale down with your palms, still in bridge. And now from here, begin to pull your tailbone towards your calves. Exhale nice and slow. One vertebra at a time, or a couple at a time, as you continue to draw your tailbone now towards your heels. And then resettle right down onto your mat. Keep the block right where it is. And lift your feet and bring your knees right over your hip sockets. Open the arms to a comfortable T position and take both knees over a little towards the left. Keep your knees stacked. Keep your shoulders down. Draw your belly in. Inhale up. Let's do the same side. Pause here. Now take an inhale to the left. Tipping up to the side, but keep your shoulders and shoulder blades heavy. Exhale, come back to center. And let's do two on the other side. So take both knees towards the right, keeping the knees stacked over the hips. Keeping your shoulders, keep your shoulder blades down. Exhale, nice and slow back to center. So we'll do one more to the right. Keep the knees right over your hips. Open both of your knees towards the right. Hold on to the block. Keep your knees stacked. Just a little bit of a twist from a reclined position. And exhale back to center. And then do just a little sway. Side to side, roll across your low back from one hip to the other. Iron out any little knots of tension there. And then come back into center and take the block away and bring your feet to the floor. And just for a moment, lengthen your legs. Take your heels out to the edge of your mat. Turn your palms up. And again, enjoy the flow of energy through your body. Bend one knee at a time. Roll to the side, make your way to table pose. Hands and knees. Move your blocks, your props out of the way. If you have water, take a sip. We need to stay hydrated. These next few days, we're having a record-breaking heat wave. Okay. If you like the blanket for the knees, go ahead. Roll your shoulders down your back. And plant your hands, walk your knees back. Spread your fingers. This is for the entire spine. So inhale, pull your belly up, pull your heart up, and release your head and tail. Cat back. Exhale, release your heart, pull it forward. So again, inhale, cat back, and exhale, cow spine. And again, just continue nice and slow. Round up into your cat. And exhale, release. And come back to your table. Walk your knees back a little or your hands a little forward and tuck your toes under. Lift your hips and press them back. Walk your feet a little wider than your hips, maybe even starting out. And your hands as wide as your outer shoulders. Pull into the L of your hands, bend your knees. Swoop your tail up. Lift your belly, your ribs. Roll your upper arms away from your ears. And push off the floor with all of your fingers. Create some length in your spine as you keep a bend to your knees to lift your hips up. Stay with it and let's walk the dog. Bend your right knee and drop your left heel. Bend your left knee and drop your right heel. Push off the floor. Draw your front body in towards your back body. And again, bend your knee, drop your heel, and we'll finish it off on this side. Now begin to walk your hands towards your feet, or your feet towards your hands, or a little bit of both, as you come into a forward fold. Sink into your heels as much as you are into your toes. Pause. Let's take the hands up into the hip crease and push down with the feet. Rise up. Take your time. Give your head and your heart some time to come into balance. Stand in your mountain pose. Roll your shoulders down. And let's turn the palms to face one another. So we have incorporated this movement frequently into our practice, so let's add it in today. So as we inhale, let's swoop up. And exhale your hands home to your heart. And as we go, bring your thumbs to rest on your chest, bow your chin, bend the knees a little. Inhale straight up. And exhale, press. Now let's do a little sit back into a chair and crisscross the wrist. Push down, inhale, rise up. And exhale home to your heart. Inhale straight up. And exhale, press down. Crisscross your wrist. Last time. Swoop up, inhale. And exhale home. Bow your chin. Inhale straight up. Reach up to that beautiful sun up there. And exhale, come home. All the way around, circle around, crisscross. Inhale. And exhale home to the heart. Let's pause right here. Unlock your knees. Take a moment. And let's stand in Tadasana mountain pose. With your palms forward, the knees a bit bent. Take a pause. Beautiful. Let's come into a wider stance with the feet parallel. We'll start our standing practice with the hands on the hips and lift up your left foot and rotate the leg and reach back with your right heel a little. And look at your feet, get heel to heel. If you'd like a little wider, that's perfectly fine. So today let's start with side angle pose. We'll bend the front knee right over the heel, bring the hand to the thigh, the elbow can be bent, and lift your belly. So think about draw the pubic bone towards your navel a little bit. Stack your shoulders. So this will determine how low you go in the fold. Keep your arm lengthened to keep your shoulders aligned, or start to go lower. You can come all the way to your forearm if you like, as long as the shoulders are stacked. Draw your belly in. Press evenly through both of your feet. Pull your skull back. And if you like, bring that arm up, palm down. Bring your front ribs in. Create a long line of energy from your right heel to your right fingertips. Stay with it, you got it. It's a pretty sweet transition from side angle to a high lunge. So we'll lift the back foot as we windmill the top arm. Bring it to the floor. Look at your back foot, toes straight ahead. And as you inhale, lengthen your front leg a little bit. Square up your hips. Exhale, bend the knee. And again, inhale, lengthen. You can lift your front toes if you like that, but keep a bend to this knee. And exhale, back to the high lunge. So the same thing, we'll just do this in reverse. Drop your back heel, bend your front knee, extend out with your right arm, and push down with your feet and your fingertips as you come back up. Voila. Now, Warrior 2 is the same stance for your feet, but this time when we bend the knee, we want the pelvis level this way. So lift your belly, shoulders down. All right, so you can see that your pelvis is at this angle, but we want the rib cage to rotate to more of a neutral position. So let's rotate the chest, extend out the arm, and float up your left arm too. So your arms are extended. Look at your back fingers. Slow and easy, look at your front fingers. Stay with it. Make little micro movements. Start with your feet. Build it all the way up. Where's the breath? So let's finish this side by coming into Peaceful Warrior. So release your right hand. Open up your left palm. Lift your left palm up. Stay with it. You got it. Exhale back, Warrior 2. So we'll do that circle again to high lunge. Ready? Start to windmill. Bring your left fingertips down, your right fingertips down. Roll on your foot. Inhale, lengthen. And then bend. Step forward, forward fold. Bend your knees. Crisscross your wrists. Push down and rise up. Exhale to your heart. Let's do a sweet crescent on each side. So take your right hand to your thigh, reach up with your left, drop your left shoulder, slide your right hand down your thigh. Just do a little nice side bend. Bring your front ribs in, your skull gently back. Press evenly through your feet. Where's your breath? Square up those shoulders, bend the knees a little bit. Inhale up and exhale. Now the left palm's on the thigh and we'll bring the right arm up. Drop the shoulder. Bend your knees a little and begin to slide your left hand down your outer thigh. Take your time. Approach it with a sense of curiosity. Front ribs in, knees a little bent. Shoulder away from your ear. Ah, right there. Nice deep stretch. And inhale up and exhale down. Shoulder roll. Take your wide stance again. Feet parallel and float up your right leg and reach back with your left heel. Get that set up. You kind of know this one. And as you bend your front knee, let your hand just rest, not collapsing. There's a little lift to your side body. And again, you can decide what's the depth of your side angle depending upon the stack of your shoulders. So set it up for you. And if you want to just stay right here with your hand on your thigh, it's perfectly lovely. And then we'll take the arm up and over. So start maybe a little bit higher, and then you can gradually go lower. There's no hurry. But try not to collapse off this front hip. Pull some energy into your left heel. Stay with it. Bring your front ribs in. Skull back. Hollow out your belly a little bit. Relax that top shoulder away from your ear. Spread your toes. When you're ready, we'll begin again to transition to high lunge. So bring your left arm down. Lift your back heel. Rotate on the ball of the foot. Bring both of your hands. Here's your high lunge. So again, you can use blocks here if you prefer. So on the inhale, lengthen your front leg. Without locking the knee, pull your heart a little forward. Exhale, the lunge. Inhale, lengthen. And again, exhale the lunge. So it's the same thing but in reverse. So we'll drop the back heel, bend the front knee, and your right fingertips are still on the floor as you reach up and start to windmill. Now push down with your feet and your hand to come up. Sometimes that's a smoother transition than other times. So bend your front knee again. Get your pelvis level for your warrior. Lift your belly. So again, the pelvis is angled this way, but level this way. Pull back into your heel and rotate your heart. Reach out with your left fingertips a little. Adjust your feet whenever you need to. And then float up with your right fingertips. Shift a little forward and back. Roll your shoulders down. Again, think about hollowing out your belly a little bit. And then build it from your feet up. Especially your back foot. Make sure you're not collapsing to the outside edge. Pull some energy into the heel. Settle in and reach. Ground down through your feet, but float up through your ribs and your head. Left hand to the left thigh. Open up your right palm. Little bit of peaceful warrior. Exhale back, warrior two, and again the high lunge. So begin the slow and easy transition. Start to windmill the arms. As you lift your back foot, rotate. Step up, forward fold. Bend your knees. Crisscross your wrists, push down, and rise up. So just a little side bend. And bring your hands back home to your heart. And then to your hips. So we'll explore our balance pose today. If you're crossing a tree pose, which was used in the study. So perhaps a chair or a wall might be there to assist you. Let's just see how it goes. So lift your right heel. Again, kind of hollow out your belly a little. Don't collapse, but draw some energy in. And then let's try this today. Lift your right knee and open it to the side, and then bring it back and toe touch. Now from your foot on the floor, rotate and let your heel rest against your inner shin, inner ankle. This might be your tree pose for today. If you'd like to explore a little bit more, then bring your right foot up above your ankle bone. So using the wall would look like this. Bring the back of your fingers to the wall. Bring the foot up. Ribs in. Then the other arm comes up too. And we can play with pulling the fingers away from the wall. And then if we feel wobbly, we know the wall's there. We can just go right back in. Find something soft that's not moving to gaze upon. Grow roots through your standing foot. Create a little spark of energy between your inner shin and the bottom of your right foot. Just a little pressure. And when you're ready, bring your hands down to your heart and step away. Roll your shoulders down your back. So same thing on the other side. We can start by just lifting. So again, use your belly here. Lift the knee, rotate. We'll do this from the side. So lift your knee and rotate and back in. So this is the movement, this outer and inner rotation of your thigh bone. And then when you find that just right place open, place your foot above your ankle bone, square up your hips, bring your belly in. You can have your hands out by your side, perfectly fine. Hands at your heart, perfectly fine. Or your arms can come up, and your ribs can come down and ground through your feet, your foot, and grow roots blossom in your tree pose. And exhale nice and slow towards your heart. Step out of your tree. Don't fall, just step out and roll your shoulders down. So we've mixed it up a little bit today as far as in what place we do the movements. So we'll now go into a little tiny bit of a sun salutation, which will incorporate our belly down back bends. So we'll start at the top of our mat in Utkatasana chair pose. Shoulders down. Float your arms up and sit back in your chair. Now pull those hips back, relax your shoulders, draw your belly in, hips back, look slightly in front and down. Stay a little upright like you're just tipping in your chair. And when you're ready from here, exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway, lift up, bring your fingertips to your shin. Exhale, return to the floor. Walk your feet back into downward facing dog. Bow to the earth. Set it up. You know all the little things that are going to work in your body. Bend your knees, swoop your tail, roll your arms open, press into all of your knuckles. When you're ready, take another breath and shift forward into a little bit of a plank pose. Wiggle your toes back, bring your knees down. Point your elbows straight back. Exhale, bring your heart nice and slow towards the floor. Chest and chin, knees and toes, and lengthen. Come up into Sphinx. Wiggle the hips a little. So earlier we were focused on the hips, and now the upper back, the thoracic spine. So as you press your forearms down, your fingers down, press that very, very top of your upper thighs. Pull your heart forward, press through your feet a little. Roll those shoulders away from your ears. And let's stay for a few moments. Follow your breath in and out of your body. And when you're ready, exhale, come down and stack your hands and rest your forehead. Moving into Shalambhasana, locust pose. Let's just take another breath here first. If you would rather come back into Sphinx or Cobra instead of locust, it's still fine. It's still a little bit of a back bend. But if you want to try it, let's go. So let's bring the hands back, palms up, forehead on the floor. Press through the top of your feet. And before we do the pose though, let's lift the palms, but still keep the head on the floor. And then release your hands. So now your wings are just starting to flutter. Let's do that again. So inhale, lift your palms. Draw your shoulder blades towards one another. And exhale, release. Bring your hands more out to a T. And do the same thing. Float your arms up and keep your forehead down. And exhale, return. Relax. Okay, now we'll go into the pose. There's a little warm up for the shoulders. When you're ready, again, press the pubic bone, the very top of your upper thighs down. Lift your hands. Lift the back of your skull. Lift your shoulders, look down. Draw your fingers towards your toes. And then you can stay right here or also float your feet. Keep looking down and breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Locust, Shalambhasana. Where's the breath? Anytime you would like to come out or need to come out, please do. Or we'll linger for just a moment. Draw your chin in towards your throat. Exhale, stack your hands and release. Bend your knees. Swish your feet a little to the right and left. And bring your hands back beneath your shoulders. Draw your chin in again. Pull your elbows in. Inhale up through Cobra as you push down with your hands. Curl up. Keep pushing. Come onto your knees and rock your hips back into child's pose. Create your version of child's pose that you love. Knees can be wider. You can stack your hands or your fist beneath your forehead. When you're ready, extend your arms, pull up with your fingers. We'll come back up to stand through downward facing dog. So it completes sort of a little round of a salutation. We mixed it up a little bit with our locust pose, but that's lovely. So tuck your toes, pull into the L of your thumb and index finger, lift your hips, press back. Bend your knees, swoop your tail up, or bring your front body up to support your back body's length and roll those shoulders nice and broad. Push off the floor. Take another breath. And either walk your hands towards your feet, feet towards your hands, however you can get there. Come into a forward fold again. Nice deep bend to the knees. Crisscross the wrists, push down with your feet. Rise up. Rise and shine. And exhale home to your heart. Take a moment, take a pause. And again, release your hands. We'll make our way down again to our yoga mat for some seated asanas, poses today. So let's do one more Utkatasana chair pose to get there. And this time, if you like, you could use a block between the thighs just to help keep stability to the knees and the pelvis if you're feeling a little like you've worked it a little bit and you want some support. Shoulders down. Float your arms, shoulders down. Then bend your knees, but take your hips back. Draw your belly in. Stay with it. Reach with your fingers, pull with your hips, relax your shoulders away from your ears, and then tip forward and find the floor. Take your block away, set it to the side. Bring one knee down at a time. So before we go into the seated twist, I wanted to do one more supine movement. I've mixed it up a little bit today to keep it fresh. So we've done some warm-up. We've done some standing poses, a little bit of balance, and now I want to do one more supine using the strap. So take the strap into the right foot, into the strap. And lengthen your left leg. Take both straps into the left hand. Take your right thumb into your hip and sink it. Anchor your left heel and begin to move your right leg across your body. Tip up onto your left side. And perhaps, for most of us, I know, I'm speaking for myself, that the foot's just going to extend. It's not necessarily going to get to the floor. It might. But wiggle your shoulder blades apart and extend your right arm out. Draw the very top of your inner thighs towards one another. Wiggle your shoulder blades apart. Press the foot into the strap. So this in itself is a pretty deep twist for the spine, but we're laying on the floor. So there's no compression to the vertebra, but there is a rotation. So as you linger, relax your shoulders. This would be a revolved triangle pose if we were standing. One more breath. Now let's bring the right hand across Grab onto the strap and help pull that heavy right leg back up to where we started. So this is familiar, Supta Padangusthasana. We just did the variation of it that's sometimes called C or 3. So let's bend the left knee and bring the right foot to the floor. And we'll do the other side. So bring your left knee up and take the strap. Extend your right leg. Anchor your right heel. Take both straps into your right hand. Take your left thumb and work it into that hip crease so your left hip descends. Little bend to the knee. And begin to open your left leg and kind of scooch onto your right side. And just go to that just right place. No force. Your left hand is lower than your shoulders, so your shoulders can be nice and broad. Anchor your right heel. And just go in nice and slow. Take your time. You can look out past your left fingers or keep face up. But perhaps notice some sensations deep in your left hip. A little bit of a rotation for your spine. And where's the breath followed in and out of your body? And then pull your left leg up. You can reach across with your left hand if you want to use both hands and come up. And bend your right knee. And bend your left knee. Bring your left foot to the floor. Scooch around. Create symmetry. Do a little swish side to side. And whenever you're ready, take one of those swishes to the side and come up to sit. We'll use our blanket to sit on. So we'll do one seated twist to complete our practice. So as you come to sit on the front edge, plant your left foot. Decide if you're going to keep your right heel just aligned with the hip or take it over so you can bring your foot across. The main thing is that we're not creating a crescent for our spine, that we can anchor down through the hip and get nice and tall and sit upright and press through the mound of the big toe of your left foot. So get tall, and already perhaps you might recognize the piriformis muscle that's awakening a little bit more in your hip. So to take it into a twist, we'll just open up the left arm and rotate the heart. Take your fingers behind you, kind of push into the floor to stay upright as you rotate. And again, go in with your inquiring, curious mind without forcing. Get nice and tall by floating your skull, but dropping down through your sits bones. Stay for a moment. Relax your shoulders, your jaw. And when you're ready, come back to where you started. Take your foot across. Bring your right foot up, and then we'll do the same thing. So if you're going to go to this version, you would just do this. Perfectly fine. You can still twist pretty deeply. But for the hips, to add a little enhancement there, bring the knee a little more into center, square up your hips, and walk the foot across. Prop up your hips as much as you need to. Press through the big toe mound, but get nice and tall. This is where we sink the right hip. The spine is long, it's not collapsing. Use your front body, your core to support that. And then we'll extend out through the right arm and rotate the heart as we take the fingers behind us. Get taller. Try not to lean back. Try to create this sense of a spiral staircase from your tailbone up through the crown of your head. And take about 2 more deep breaths. Unwind. Bring your foot across. Scooch off your blanket. Bring your feet forward. Roll on down to your back. And hug your knees in again. Palms on your knees. Take them in a nice circular, more of like an oval movement around both directions. And bring that right into center. Arms long, 1 foot at a time to the floor. Walk your knees open, bring your feet together. Use your blocks here behind your knees. Either flat or medium, just so your low back can release a little bit and that we support the legs in this Baddha Konasana position. Wiggle your shoulders apart and just arrive. This creates balance in the pelvis, the SI joint, and allows the body a sense of balance and release. So you can linger here, especially that you're supported by those blocks. But if you like just a moment, visit into Shavasana, help your knees up and extend your legs. Take your heels as wide apart as your yoga mat. And if you like, you can now take your blocks and slide a flat one kind of behind your thigh, above your knee crease. Just bend your knees and let your low back just release. Again, yogi's choice always on Friday, on every day. And pause and sink a little closer. When you're ready, bend one knee at a time, bring your feet to the floor. Do a little mini sway. And when you're ready, take the sway to the side. Bring yourself up to any seated pose that you like. Use your blanket or a block to sit upright. Reach your fingers out to the side. And we have a new tradition that we've been creating recently. So as we inhale, we'll come up and create the temple overhead. And as we exhale, peace to the mind, strength and health to the body, and love to the heart. Bow your chin in gratitude and tip your pelvis so we can bow to one another across time and space and still honor the light within.